And it is my absolute passion to support community initiatives with a special focus on cultivating community collaboration. I gather businesses or nonprofits that can complement each other and have the same target market and offer them shared marketing management. I like to help businesses with social capital. It's very, very hard for small businesses to be able to, it's not for the lack of desire. They want to be involved in the community. They want to serve and help and cultivate relationships, but they're so busy focused on the business, running their business, that that's very difficult to do. And that's where I want to help small businesses. And I have a wonderful guest on with me today to help talk about small businesses and relationships. Hold on here. Let me adjust. Relationships. I have John Anthony Smith. John Smith is with me. He is the Chief Listening Officer and President of Conversant Group here, Conversant Group LLC here in Chattanooga. Hi, John. How are you?
I'm great.
And it's great to have you here. I appreciate your time on the air with us so much today. And first, though, we want to give a quick shout out to our wonderful sponsor. And John's familiar with our sponsor, Chicken Salad Chick.
I love Chicken Salad Chick.
Exactly. I love Chicken Salad Chick. It is definitely Cindy's choice. And that's, when you have a business called Cindy's Choice, it's really got to be something you love. It's got to be Cindy's choice. And Chicken Salad Chick is a wonderful sponsor of this platform. And I so enjoy and feel honored to represent them in the community because Josh Patton is the owner. Do you know Josh?
I don't.
I'll have to get you two connected. Josh is a great contributor to the community. He started with the downtown store. Then he added the Gun Barrel location, and now there's a third location at Erlanger Mall. And it's made fresh daily, so I get the awesome honor of going by and getting leftovers and delivering them to the community kitchen or Family Promise or sometimes Ronald McDonald House, and kind of getting to share that. And then Josh is also very involved in the Chamber of Commerce and other organizations and really gives back. And he's brought me on board to expand on that. So it's just a wonderful collaboration. Chicken Salad Chick, 12 varieties of chicken salad. So there's something for everyone. There's curbside pickup downtown. So that's a wonderful thing to know about. Curbside pickup downtown, wonderful catering options. They've got some great holiday selections with a cheese ball with pecans and I'm trying to remember what else. It's a wonderful cheese ball, and they've got pumpkin cheesecake.
I love pumpkin.
I know, and pumpkin cheesecake, for goodness sakes.
Fantastic.
I know, yes. So Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com, Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. Something for everyone. Remember them with your catering options. Now, I want to jump in with John. John, congratulations again. You just opened a new location downtown. I was at the ribbon cutting. I was at the groundbreaking, which was exciting. I love that part. And then I got to attend the ribbon cutting and help celebrate the grand opening of Conversant Group downtown. So how's that going? Are y'all getting settled in over there?
We're completely settled in now.
That's awesome. It's a beautiful place over on the south side.
On the south side.
Love to see what's happening over there. The south side is booming. I was at the grand opening of the Westin, where now the west side is starting to come around. I said, there's so much going on in Chattanooga. It's a wonderful time to be in Chattanooga. And John, you're from very close by. So tell me about where are you from and what brought you here to Chattanooga?
I am actually from a very, very small town, Sequatchie, Tennessee, which is about 30 minutes outside of Chattanooga. Very tiny. Not many people live in my hometown.
Now, that's, because I've spent a lot of time in Dunlap. I've shared my story on here quite often. That's what brought us to Chattanooga is hang gliding. And there's a wonderful hang glider site. The Tennessee Tree Toppers Club is there. And so I'm familiar with the beautiful Sequatchie Valley, but I didn't know there was actually a Sequatchie town. And you say it's over near Whitwell?
It is between Whitwell and Jasper, actually.
Okay. So it's a little farther because there's also a hang gliding, paragliding site in Whitwell on the south side for the more southerly flowing winds. And then there's the Henson Gap, the Mowbray Mountain, Lewis Chapel is the more north direction. So I spent a lot of time over in the beautiful valley, not too far away from you. And I know I have a lot of aviator friends because I've landed at that Jasper Airport a few times. So
it's a tiny airport.
So tell me, John, you started an IT career in 1994, Conversant Group is an IT company. So tell me a little bit, because you're a very young man, and it's and tell me about starting this IT career in 1994.
Well, I have actually always been a self-proclaimed nerd. And so when I was like roughly 9 or 10 years old, my father got me plugged into writing code. I grew up incredibly poor, and so we could never own a home computer because we couldn't afford a home computer. But my dad was very methodical and took efforts, though at the time I didn't realize it, to plug me into technology. So every opportunity he
And
plugged
this was
me in.
back, like, well, I mean,
This is 1988 to 1989.
I was going to say this had to be before 94.
Oh,
so
yes.
that's right when, like I remember 89 was maybe when I got my first computer, but I didn't know what to do with it. I ended up giving it, I think we gave it to my mother-in-law because we didn't know what to do with it.
Right. So, I mean, those years predates Windows, right?
Yes,
so we were working in DOS back then.
Yes, exactly. That's awesome. So tell me, how did that start? How did you get involved in technology at age 14?
Well, my mother's
kind of
sister
position? Yeah.
married a gentleman who graduated from MTSU, and he became the CIO at Thompson Machinery ultimately. And he also plugged me in at Thompson Machinery. And so at age 14, I started working there in the summers and helping roll out some very advanced technologies for the time, of course. You know, the internet was a new thing.
Yes, yes.
Security was becoming a new thing.
Yes.
Remote access technologies. And
I remember very well. Yes.
Connecting, at that time, I believe that the company had 11 locations. So I was involved in the projects to interconnect all those locations.
Wow. That's really awesome. And now you say, your dad was very methodical, and you say that you were a natural nerd, but would you say that there was a passion burning already for, were you sincerely attracted to technology, or is it just something that just...
Well, I mean, at the time, I was very attracted to technology. I mean, I always knew that I was ultimately going to start a business, but and at the time, I thought it was about technology. But over time, things have evolved, right? It's become more about people for me. At the end of the day, technology is an enabler to give me access to people.
I love what you say. It's a tool.
Technology is a tool, and it's nothing more than a tool. I always say that we shouldn't pay homage to the computer gods, right? At the end of the day, it is a tool. It's not something we should be worshiping. We should be taking care of people. Business exists for people.
Exactly.
Technology exists for business, which exists for people. So,
and my listeners will now know, you can tell exactly why I had John come on the show today, because that's what Cindy's Choice is centric to. Is like I said, I love technology. Technology is great, but we're getting away from this. We're getting away from face-to-face contact, and being able to be out in the community and supporting your community and cultivating relationships is key to life, not just business. It's key to everything. So that's a big focus of mine, and that's what intrigued me when I first heard John. I was speaking, or he was speaking at the ribbon cutting, and everything you said just amazed me. And I want to talk a little bit about Conversant Group first, but I do want to get into what you share about work not being a curse. It's actually a conduit for purpose. And that just really stirred me, because that's a lot what I'm trying to help people with. But you just say it so much more eloquently than I do. I couldn't wait to get you on. But tell me a little more about, let's focus a little more on Conversant Group. I know there's 3 areas. Well, explain it to me. Explain it to our audience the way you explained it to me, to the listener, about the building roads and bridges.
Yeah,
but it's about security. You're building roads and bridges, but you're focused on security.
Absolutely. So Conversant Group is an infrastructure and security consultancy. We're obviously based here in Chattanooga. Our new office is obviously right downtown.
Yes, beautiful office.
The easiest way to think about what we do is to think about it in the terms of physical infrastructure. It's easy to relate to things you can see, right? We all understand roads and bridges. And so I often say that what we do is we build roads and bridges. And not only do we build roads and bridges, we put nice guardrails and paint stripes on these roads, and we patrol our roads.
Right.
But no one cares about roads and bridges. If you really think about it, no one cares about infrastructure. You don't care about infrastructure until a bridge collapses or there's an enormous pothole in the middle of the road that prevents you from getting where you're trying to go. So infrastructure is important, and securing our infrastructure is important, and that is what we do.
So, okay, but we're talking technology here.
Digital infrastructure.
So, exactly, digital infrastructure. They're not a construction business, but you do have construction clients. But the majority of your clients are actually law firms, correct?
That's correct. So, though we're based in Chattanooga, our largest customer base is actually outside of our state's borders. Most of our clients are in Ohio and California, and most of our clients are in the practice of law. So I got my first legal job actually in 1998. So I've been working with lawyers and law firms for almost 20 years. And so that's taken us now all over the country.
Well, and what better category to be focused on law firms when you're talking about security?
Absolutely, because lawyers, the law firms have our nation's secrets. I mean, if you think
Exactly.
about it, lawyers have the most sensitive data on everybody and everything.
Exactly. And now I remember from scanning your website, there's actually three areas that you focus on. Three primary: security. What was it? Security.
So we do infrastructure and security, and in infrastructure, there's a lot of subcategories, right? So
Okay.
we facilitate the user experience. So
That's what it was.
for lawyers, the user experience is paramount. Lawyers, if you've ever met a lawyer, you know they work a lot. They don't stop working, and so it's important for a lawyer to be able to travel and work in a secure manner, and it should
Yes.
be the same no matter where he or she is working. Right?
Yes.
The experience should always be exactly the same. When they press go, it should work, right?
But again, I mean, attorneys are a great place to focus, but this can apply to all businesses. Like you said, you here locally, you work with some contractors.
Yeah. So locally, regionally, actually, most of our business is focused around construction. So we really have three industries that we serve primarily. Legal's the number one, and then there's construction and manufacturing.
That's the three I
Yeah.
was thinking of. There were three focuses there that you like to maintain on. Well, again, Conversant Group LLC. This is John Smith that I'm speaking with, and a lot why I was intrigued to bring you on, like I said, was what you shared at your ribbon cutting, and it just your focus on people, and that's me. That's my passion. That's why I've started Cindy's Choice, and my story. Just a little brief synopsis of my story just came out in the Pulse Chattanooga today. It was online Wednesday, but I think it comes out in print today. So my story is starting to get out there of why I'm so passionate about building networks. I wasn't raised with a healthy network of support. I was on my own at a very early age. So through a process of rebuilding several times, as I was undoing what I had been conditioned to and rebuilding, I am very passionate and understanding about people like me who did not have that conditioning and that healthy network growing up. So I want to build healthy networks, but it's the same with all relationships, with personal, with business. What it all comes back down to relationships. I mean, that's what we're put here for: relationship with God, relationship with each other. So that is my focus. And when you start talking about work is not a curse, but a conduit for purpose, then that ties in so much, because that's what I'm trying to help people do, is build that network to help them work and help them find the passion and purpose through work, because you won't end up and have that healthy network through that. So talk a little bit about, I believe what you mentioned too, and feel comfortable to go ahead and talk about, you started out with the fall of man and how that's kind of tricked us into thinking that work is a curse.
Yeah. So I am a preacher's son. So obviously, I believe in the formal creation, the seven day literal creation. And when I was growing up, I was always taught, or at least I thought I was taught, that work was a curse. Right? It was part of the fall of mankind.
Well, I mean, it's because I cringe every time on Facebook I see one of those, "Thank God it's Friday," or "Oh no, it's Monday." I just cringe because we're conditioned that way a lot about work. But it starts, early, even before social media. There's all these indications of, "Oh no, it's Monday," and "Thank God it's Friday."
Yeah, but and whether you believe in the creation story or not, I mean, you can look out through all of mankind's history, and you will find that humanity has always found its purpose in work and building
Yes.
something bigger than themselves. And if you look at the creation story specifically, you'll find that Adam was given work in the garden by God. He
Yes.
he was He was asked to dress the garden. He was asked to name the animals. God gave him purpose in the garden. He was to tend to the garden. Now, you might argue that it wasn't very difficult because it wasn't cursed, but the reality is he still had work to do.
Exactly.
He had a purpose.
Exactly.
And God, because we were created in the image of God, he has endowed us with many of his own qualities, such as love and creativity, and the ability to dream and the ability to wish for things greater than ourselves. That's God. I mean, God is a masterful artist. And so what I have learned through all that story and through my own life experiences is that ultimately we find our purpose through work. And so people have to have access to create enough dots, enough experiences to ultimately figure out what their life's purpose is. And so like your own experience, it was several dots. There were several dots that you got created in there that ultimately has allowed you to connect the dots where you are now, right? Same was true for me. My father plugging me into programming, growing up very poor. I have an immense fear of being poor. I have an immense fear of poverty.
Yes.
I despise poverty. And I view the world in a very positive note. I don't want to be the guy that's fighting for a bigger slice of a fixed size pie. I want to be the guy that's growing the pie. Yes. I want my slice to grow by me growing the pie for all. And I believe that it is possible to eliminate poverty. And I think the way we eliminate poverty is to once again instill purpose in mankind through work. We all need to get busy at it, doing something greater than we are.
And that's what I got excited about when I was hearing you speak, because you're so right. And what I'm trying to do is amplify that with the collaborations of doing it together, because we can't do it by ourselves. We've got to do it with healthy connections, healthy relationships. There's got to be trust and integrity there, and it all blends together. But I'm like you. I don't. I've been raised in poverty. I call my story right now destitute. I was homeless 2 years ago. It's destitute to destiny. And that if I can do that from the streets of Chattanooga, if I can build something from nothing, not just no capital, but literally just literally living in my truck and coming off the streets and building something bigger than me that's going to help the community, then it can be done. Anyone can do it. And it's and I know there's people out there listening who have health issues and so forth like that, but that's where creativity comes in. And that's what I want to help with. I'm good at getting creative. And there's other people like me that are good at getting creative. And if we group together and find out each strong point and work together, then there is something you can do, and you can find that fulfillment. You can find that purpose in work. And for most of us, have to work. So I'm so thankful that I've always had a good attitude, because I just knew to like it. It's like you condition yourself. I just knew to like work. But I'm like you. I've always known I would do something bigger. I would make a difference. That's always been in there, to build the bigger pie and help others benefit from the big pie. And then that focus everybody. It's a win-win. It's a win-win-win.
Yeah, and oftentimes I think that many people try to categorize their work, and some work is considered better than others. And the reality is if your purpose is to work in manufacturing and make things with your hands, or to paint beautiful pieces of art, if that's what you enjoy and that's where your heart is, that is your purpose. And there's nothing degrading about working with your hands and doing physical things. And God has something uniquely out there for every one of us.
Exactly.
And
yes.
I'm thankful I have finally found mine. So
yes, me too. It took me a while, but it's like you said, the dots that were there, early on didn't make sense to what I'm doing, but now it all makes sense. It all fits together. And so, you go off in a few different directions, but at some point you connect those dots. That's a beautiful analogy, a beautiful picture. We're already down to just a few seconds, but let's hold on to that thought, John. We're going to pick up again here in a few minutes. We're going on break, and join me back with John Smith of Conversant Group.